Look at the painting. What's the first thing to catch your eye? Now starting in the top left corner, moving rightwards and scanning down, what else do you see? Move more closely to the painting. What's the depth like? What feels close to you? So close you could almost touch it. There are diagonal dashes of greyish silver lines that strike the painting so harshly that we get this feeling of a vibrant storm. Have you ever been in a storm before? If so, what sounds did you hear? And can you feel these sounds in the painting? It's unsure how Rousseau created these translucent silver stripes in the painting, but it's definite that it has created the busyness of a tropical storm that the tiger finds itself in. The cohesion in the stripes of rain are echoed throughout the painting, clearly in the tiger stripes, but also in the elongation of the plants. The painting quite clearly shows a tiger in a storm, and it is an oil painting on canvas. These materials were chosen due to their versatility, allowing Rousseau to create the vibrancy and the opaque shapes and colour. What does the painting remind you of? For me, it reminds me of a children's book. Although not the inspiration for the book, Judith Kerr was inspired by the illustrative style and was able to use some of the tiger's personality in the book. Okay, so now going back to the tiger, what position is it in? Critics say that it doesn't quite look right, but can you feel its sense of pouncing? And looking at its teeth, how many teeth can you count? Perhaps 6? Now if we take a look back at the top left corner, is there a tree that kind of stands out? Does its leaves look familiar? Now these are the real facts. Rousseau never went to a jungle, well at least we think, and he grew up in Paris, so it's unlikely that he had ever seen the scenes that he's painted. In reality, he had visited multiple times Paris's botanical gardens and the city zoo. These are most likely the inspirations for the amazing painting that we see today, Surprised. Look at the top left corner. There's a tree with branches that are moving left to right, but also coming towards us, aren't there? The leaves look quite familiar, but different to the rest of the plants. This is thought to be a Parisian street tree. And I'm not saying this to pick at Rousseau's artwork, because if we again look at the tiger's teeth, it has 6 teeth, when in reality a fully grown tiger is thought to have 30 teeth. All these facts and details are not a criticism, well at least not to me, more of an indication of Rousseau's art style, of post-impressionism and naivism. These terms of post-impressionism and naivism relate to his artistic style. We can see in the bold use of colour and how it's flatly laid, where there's not much of an attempt to create 3D dimensional tones. To me, the painting feels fictional, almost like a dream. And maybe that's why the tiger doesn't feel too intimidating, because why would something in someone's imagination feel that scary and ghastly? When writing to an art critic, Rousseau said, "When I go into the glass houses, it seems that I enter a dream." So maybe this is the dream we see in Surprised. Rousseau was never classically trained, and when he decided to leave his career as a customs officer, he was critiqued a lot in the industry. Though, out of his many paintings, around 20 of which were jungle paintings, this is one of his most prominent pieces of work. Rousseau is said to have not excelled at school, though he was always very good at art. So, using his creativity, his imagination, and his self-belief, Rousseau was able to create one of the most prominent pieces of art in his collections, and has made an art piece that is known internationally. So, inspired by him and his career, what inspires you? What sparks your creativity? Whatever it is, let it rage wild like the storms in Surprised.